I mean, I'll just kind of start to get this going, and when people jump on, they jump on. But really, what I was going to focus on marketing for us right now, because everything has been pretty funky the last couple of months. But the last couple of days have been very, very interesting, just partly because the world is trying to come out of one problem that was really nobody's fault, and now there are new problems. I mean, I'm just going to go jump in and say it, and the whole George Floyd thing, and the way that the world is now reacting to that. Yesterday I got struck by the fact that scrolling through in an increasingly social media society yesterday, I scroll through and there's nothing but black squares. And at first, I mean, I knew what it was, but after a while, I was trying to find something else to bring me out of it. And I was scrolling past a couple of different posts, and I saw one that was a black square. It had a little heart growing in the middle of it. And now I can't give credence to whoever it was that actually was the person that did it. I can't find it. I've been looking for it for half an hour and I can't find it. But the point that I was going to try and make with that is that small little tweak for me, it did something, and it really brought me back into, this is going to sound trite, but it interrupted my pattern. I was in a pattern of frustration. I was in a pattern of, poor feelings, whatever it is that you want to call it. It interrupted the pattern, but it was something as simple as just a little heart. And what I'm thinking about right now for you to be able to just interrupt the pattern for just one second in your business right now, and understand that while we are, yes, members of the housing community, we're members of the housing industry I've said this for weeks, trying to lead the charge out of a forced recession and into an economic recovery. But how do we do that? Well, because we've gotten in these new patterns now, the last 6-8 weeks, we've gotten in new patterns of being at home, or figuring out childcare situations, trying to homeschool our children, trying to navigate not being able to host open houses, answering and fielding client questions about what's going on, what's happening, et cetera. We've all gotten into new patterns. And right now, as we all know, some of those patterns might not have actually been productive. They might not be moving your business forward. They might just be blocking and tackling to try and handle the objectives of the day and get through the day. Guys, I don't want y'all to get through your days. I want you to continue to move your business forward and do the important things that are necessary right now, but also understanding that we have a duty to uphold, and that the right of home ownership is sometimes referred to as the American dream. And that American dream extends to all people. On the flip side, if we're not an option for someone who's looking to buy or sell a home, then none of this matters. So what we have to do is figure out how to interrupt a pattern of whatever it is that we might have been doing. I don't know if some of you, I've been harping on, fix your database, reach out to all the past clients in Sphere, send video text messages to your friends, start with Z in your phone book. ask yourself an honest question. You don't have to answer me. How many of you have actually done all of that I've been talking about the last 6 weeks? I mean, be honest with yourself. It's honestly, it's right now. And thank you, Brian, for being honest. And if I were a real estate coach, well, one, I would be making way more money than I am right now. Number two, I would love the opportunity to give you guys a couple of things. No judgment, no nothing. Let's start clean. Here's an opportunity right now, because we have so much less competition. Because if you guys that are on the call, and I know all of y'all are still running forward in your businesses, if y'all on the call aren't doing everything in your power to stay top of mind and to stay in front of the people that you want to serve, what's the rest of the community doing? I mean, 3/4 of them have given themselves unpaid vacations. And I'm saying right now, less competition means more opportunity, but it also means that flight to quality means we got to up our game. I got a short story for this right here that I hold in my hand, this thing that everybody leans on for the business. Well, my 5-year-old killed my phone the other day. It was time for an upgrade. I could either choose to do it or choose not to. It was an extremely painful upgrade with a comma involved in it in terms of dollar value, but it was an upgrade nonetheless. It's time for your business to take an upgrade. And so that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. And if you want to, there's a little challenge built into this call today to help hold you accountable. And I am more than happy to be both your accountability partner and also to field questions, share insight, and do anything that you need to do to help make a statement right now, to do the right thing, to be that person that is the shepherd of the industry. Do it for our people in our communities that we serve, right? To understand that we have an opportunity both to give people the chance to create a home that's welcome to everybody, but also understand that everyone is welcome as well to own a home. And in this day and age, now more than ever, I mean, that's a phrase that gets batted around so much I can't even see straight, now more than ever, but it's really true. You know, we're all being squeezed on multiple different levels. And it's pretty easy, especially with so much focus being put on singular events right now, just because of the way that the times are. It's easy to get locked into some certain new thing, the next new bad news that happens, and spiral into a new pattern of unproductivity. So let's interrupt the pattern, right? How quickly can we just interrupt the pattern and get on with our duty, which is serving and protecting the public and helping the communities in which we serve? So let's look at how, in fact, do we interrupt the pattern? Okay, we've already talked about how important it is right now to just control the things that we can control, but let's dive down just a little bit deeper on this. I said it already, do it for the people in the community. And I've said this a million different times. It's be a human being first, but realize you have a job to do. I stole that from Jared James writ large. I'm going to give him credit for that, but it's true. We all, right now, more than ever, again, the cliche, it's time for us to realize that we're a human being, but to also realize that we have a job to do. And that job isn't, we don't sell anything. We help other people buy and sell stuff. We help other people in a process that they feel like they are capable of handling. But ultimately, as a professional, a licensed professional in the industry, we have the ability to handle that process better than they would in our absence. Now, if we can't handle that process better than those folks would in their absence, that's another question for another time. But right now, for the purposes of keeping this to the point, we owe it to the people in our communities that we serve to let everyone know what it is that we do, how we do it, and how it benefits them. And also to understand that we're not buying or selling anything. We're helping somebody else buy or sell the biggest thing likely that they will ever handle in their lives. And they're probably going to do it 7 to 10 times. So we have to understand that there's people in that house. There's people going in that house. There's memories in that house. There's going to be new memories made, but that ultimately we are the voice of knowledge, the voice of reason, and the professional advice and counsel that will help actually get the job done. So we're at the beginning of June. I'm going to give you guys 30 days of lag time here, if you will. We're halfway done with the year. You've got until the end of June to really figure this out, but the best time to start is now. So 4 things, really, if I could pull anything for you to focus on for the rest of your year, and then I'm going to also get into a couple of items that we can share from a marketing perspective to really help you catapult this plan, success, and these daily disciplines really into action. These are the thoughts. The next bit is the action. And the first one you see there is motive and plan. Motive really is motivation. But where's your focus going to be for the rest of the year? What is your burning desire? Essentially, like, what is your to where or how much by when? It's not I just want to I want to sell more houses than I did in the first half of the year. It's not I just want to provide as much value to the community as I humanly can. Okay, that's fine. That's also being like somebody saying, I need to lose 20 pounds. It's not going to happen. But if you say, I'm going to lose 5 pounds in the next month and lose 5 pounds for the next 4 successive months to get that 20 pounds, okay, now I got something that I can work on that is measurable, it's clear, it's an actionable goal, and it's actually something that I can benchmark off of. Do I intend to? Am I necessarily going to hit all of my goals every single time, dead on the number? I might not, but I've still got that plan in place, and I'm still going to, as a result of making a clear, specific, measurable, and trackable goal. In the case of what we're talking about, making, I really think, appointments, creation of new business, and more specifically, more listings this year for the end of the year as a goal would be a great place to start. And then instead of saying, I want to list more homes, it's saying by the end of the year, I want to get to 8 listings, 12 listings, 24, 3, 5, whatever it is. Pick the number that, again, the purposes of this is something that's going to work for you, because what works for you does not work for me. Not necessarily. What works for me does not necessarily work for you. Nothing's boilerplate. There are no broad mass assumptions. But what is broad mass and assumable is that if you cannot track it or measure it, you can't improve on the result. So one, it's plan for this. Make a plan. Make a goal for yourself, whatever it is. I don't know if it's even, I don't even know if it's real estate related, but for the purposes of this, it should be real estate related. It should be business related. What is it that you're going to do from now until the end of the year? And to be totally honest, let's take the month of December out of this. It's the actions that we take now to the end of the year. So guess what? You are halfway done with the year and you got 6 months to get it done. So there's a 6-month time window. Make a plan, make it measurable, make it clear. And if you want to throw a wrinkle into this, I've got a challenge for everybody. I want you guys to get a checkbook out. Okay, never mind. Some people might not actually have checkbooks, but if you do have a checkbook, or if you have a PayPal account or a Venmo account or whatever it is, set aside an amount of money that's going to make you kind of uncomfortable. To set it aside and park it there with the potential aspect of losing it. And I want you to write on the check, or I want you to mark it out in your account, however you choose to hold these funds. Feel free to send it to me if you want to. And assign that if you do not meet your goal by the end of the year, so this next 6 months, pick something that you would absolutely hate to have that money sent to. Is it a political candidate? Is it your ex-boyfriend or somebody you just can't stand? Is it a charitable organization that you don't really support? Whatever that might be, pick the person, and if you don't mind and you're willing to do it and you want to, drop it into chat or bring that check by my office, and I'll hold on to that check till the end of the year to help hold you accountable. Now, is $10 going to get you off the floor? Probably not. Is 100? I don't know. I mean, if it were up to me, I hate losing even $1, but make it something that would get you fired up to not back down on whatever it is that your motive or plan is for the remainder of this year. I welcome you to take that challenge. And actually, I've done this already with my accountability partner on a corporate level for something completely unrelated to me growing my business. I've got this something else for a personal deal, which is what brought me to sharing that with you guys. Okay, so you got a plan. Second step is you might actually have to ask somebody to get permission to go for that big goal. Whatever it is. I've had to do this in the past, and it's actually hindered me from going for the goals that I was striving for, because I never stopped and thought about, oh, who are the other people in my life that I need to involve if I am going to embark on this quest? Everything, no man is a mountain. Or no man is an island. I don't even know why I said mountain. No man is an island. Like, meaning that you can't do this all by yourself. If you're going to be an agent for the community, that means inclusion, not exclusion, not singularity. You need to get permission from whomever it is that in your life that you really need to say, listen, here's what we're going to do. We are going to have I'm going to have the best year professionally ever, or I'm going to have X number of appointments for the rest of per week, for whatever it is. If it's your spouse, if it's your cat, if it's your mom, if it's your best friend, whoever it is that you need to get permission from. And you might say, well, I really can't think of anybody. Okay, well then ask yourself for permission in that situation. Ask yourself permission to do the things that you need to do in order to get to where you want to go by when. That goal, that massive breakthrough, is only possible if you are able to do the things that are necessary. And the third bit of this is that, again, you're not alone. Realize that your success is important, but realize that your success is important to more people than just you. Your success is important to me. Your success is important to everyone in our organization. Your success is important to the people that you serve as well. And so how do you improve on your success? Well, one, let's start with the thing that I've been shaking my finger at, whether that's been good or that's been bad, or if it's been productive. Spend time focusing on the listing presentation. You know, we've spent a lot of time. If you have requested one of the physical copies of the listing presentation and you haven't gotten it, either it's in my office or it's at your office. And if you haven't requested a physical copy of that listing presentation, do it now. Just like John Belushi said, don't cost nothing. We are providing those listing presentations free of charge to you, the physical copy of it. The digital copy has always been free of charge, but we pared it down in an understandable way for you to relate to the clients and to relate to the people that you serve. Let's work on that thing. Know the thing. It's not 150 pages anymore. If you use all of it, it's 20. And I don't even think you need more than 3 or 4 pages to let everybody know that it's not just you that's different. It's our company, and we're trying to speak to them. How you present that listing presentation is a humongous thing. Whatever your process is, if you don't have a process, call me. Let's get a process. Be the solution. Help understand that it's really not our job to be smarter, faster, whatever. It's our job to understand the needs of real human beings and to help offer them solutions to the problems they're currently facing. And finally, it says daily disciplines, and a lot of people are going to roll their eyes, but I mean, it's really true. The only things that we can control are the things that we can control, our actions. So how we do that, it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter what it is that you do. Again, I'm going to say this is what works for you. But what works for you, daily disciplines, it's not just, yes, you know what? Making your bed is great. That's awesome. That's really fantastic. And it is a thing that helps people put a little gold star sticker on their shoulder at the beginning of the day. But that doesn't do anything to help your business. I'm sorry. Let's do things that, whatever it is. I say 4 things for the rest of your year. Well, then why don't we do 4 things per day that are going to help move your business forward? One, and I'm going to continue to say this until the day I pass out, you got to have a routine in the morning that sets the stage for the rest of the day. But whatever that is, I call mine reading, education, prayer, and sweat. Yours might be coffee, Facebook, email, and MLS. Whatever it might be, I don't know. If as long as it puts you in a mindset to be productive during the day, I don't care what it is, but as long as it is something that you can actually make a routine, a new pattern, a productive pattern. We're trying to interrupt the old pattern, make a new pattern, right? So it has to be something, and it has to be in the morning. Otherwise, you're just discombobulated. You're out of whack. We've all had those days. I had that kind of a day before yesterday, in which I had an entire schedule. We always go through real, actual, planned, and ideal in terms of our schedules. The real is the one that happens, and it is nothing like what the ideal schedule is. But you got to map out a little bit of time each day that you know this is going to get me on the right track, because I know that I'm going to get bopped over the head a minimum of 20 times a day doing something else. But if I do this, if I do these things, this will set me on the course for success, not only now, but in the rest of the year and the rest of my career. 1, that morning routine. 2, you got to go through the daily data in the MLS. whether that's reviewing new transactions just to get a feel for what's selling, what's not selling, new listings. If you've got a million different buyers that can't find anything and you've been all over God's creation trying to find them something, or whatever it is, that daily data crunch has to be a part of your day. I don't care if you do it in the morning or if you do it at the end of the day, so then you can think about stuff and get everybody first thing the next morning. When it happens, it does not matter, but it has to happen every single day. The next thing is practicing how you're going to deliver this information to the public. So you are the voice of reason. So you are an option. So you are that person that can be the choice, because quite honestly, right now, there's a lot of people that are extremely nervous. They might not be interested in buying or selling now at all. And I'll share with you a short little idea or a situation that I had. It was not even 4 days ago. I was talking with a friend of mine. He's a physician in town, and just point blank period said, we were thinking about selling, but now I don't know. I mean, I would imagine that what you guys are seeing, I would bet that home prices are dropping, so I need to probably wait until at least the end of the year, if not wait till next year. And I said, well, that's interesting, and asked him why he thought that. He went on to share what a lot of people in this marketplace are also thinking. Smart people, educated folks, uneducated folks, doesn't matter who you are. Our industry is so much more intricate than much of the general public can ever understand. That is why we owe it to ourselves to help be the voice of knowledge and the voice of reason to those that we serve. I'll share with him because I know exactly where he lives and his market and what was on, what's sold, what's traded recently, how prices have not been affected negatively, and in fact are still on a gradual climb forward. You could tell that I said, why are you wanting to sell? Really got to the meat of the issue. It turns out he really didn't want to sell, but thought that his home might have appreciated some value. It actually did. He was concerned about losing value, and if he was going to lose value, they were going to sell. Now he's going to hang on to it because it's the right house for he and his family at this point in time. But for some folks, whether they want to sell or not, they're all wondering that same exact question. And we all know this, that when we get the question, how's the market? It actually means, what's my house worth? Because we know this, that writ large, the United States, homeowners in the United States have more equity in their homes than they've ever had in history. That is fact. That more Americans have more equity in their homes than ever before in the history of recorded events. So now what we're talking about is when people are wondering how the market's going, they're not wondering whether or not they're going to be able to make their payment. That's their actual money that's going up or down in their minds by the basis of price fluctuations in the market. So that practice helps you deliver, to bring this back, that practice helps you deliver the information that's necessary to the client that you're speaking with in order to help them understand and for you to be that voice of reason. And the fourth thing out of this, of this daily disciplines, I say you got to set a set amount of time for, I'm going to call it appointment setting. And you're going to say, well, what do you mean? You mean prospecting? You mean cold calling? You mean whatever? No, I mean appointment setting, whatever that is. If you're going to try and focus on just setting appointments with people that you need to meet with to move your business forward, do I mean potential clients? Ideally, yes. Do I mean catching up with your past clients in your sphere? Yes. Do I mean reaching out to a mortgage originator to understand where things are in the mortgage market right now? Yes. Do I mean reaching out to an attorney to understand more how to streamline the closing process? Yes. Set appointments with people that are going to help you move your business forward and spend rather a set amount of time every single day doing just that. You don't have to set 50 appointments. You just got to do it every day. You have to. Not just for you, for your kids, for your wife, for your boyfriend, for your girlfriend, for your mom, for your aunt and your uncle, for the people in the community. This is the time right now, the next 6 months. I don't care if you think I'm being hyperbolic about this. This is for you because your success is important. Have a motive. Get permission from whoever you need to get permission from. Your success is important. And develop a new pattern that's going to help move you forward and get yourself out of your head. Why is this important? Well, one, you got to get your mind right to work with, how you're going to follow up and act on all of these. You got to know the market. You have to be familiar with delivering that information so it can be valuable, because in the absence of value, people will always default to price. I'm going to say that again. In the absence of value, people will always default to price. That's why McDonald's 99-cent piece of crap cheeseburger has done so well for so long. Because in the absence of value, people will default to price. That value meal provides no value, I assure you. Just the same exact way that a discount real estate agent provides no value to the consumer. And finally, you got to focus on the finish line to get you through all of this by focusing on what you can control, those daily disciplines. You got to do what works for you, but you got to do what works for you. Okay, let's talk about something a little bit lighter. I swear, I'm not trying to preach or yell at anybody, but I feel so strongly about the fact that right now, where we are and how this industry is positioned to bring everybody forward, I feel so strongly about this. And if anybody wants to have a partner in the next 6 months, I am right here and I am pretty hard to miss. I'm the big guy with no hair up top and the really loud voice. You know where I am. First thing, there's 4 little bits that I can really focus on for you guys just to deliver some of this marketing, because how can we grow our base? How can we grow our sphere of influence? Well, what we got to do is the same stuff that we've been doing, but just a little teeny bit different. And I promise I'm going to keep this short because I said that I was going to keep it short, and I always talk too much. First thing, so social proof. What is social proof? That is, quite simply, it's the same just listed, just sold, or even for this year, just sold or just listed, or the clients that I've closed with, or here's what I've worked on, but it's not the same way that you've been doing it up until now. I'm going to ask you right now to help me change the narrative, interrupt the pattern of this traditional just listed, just sold. I'm going to say, what if we started talking about how we just listed or how we just sold? Let's talk about the family that had been looking for 6 months and we pulled a deal together, or the people that have forever been looking for a new home to purchase but just didn't think that it was going to work. But you showed them that no matter what, your process, your marketing was going to allow them to cash out an exceptional amount of income so that they could actually look for a house that was in a higher price range than they actually thought that they could, or whatever it is. You've got the family that their kids have always dreamed of walking to school, and you were able to put together an off-market transaction, whatever it is. How? Let's turn our just listeds and just solds into how listed and how sold. If I were you right now, more than ever, there it goes again, cliche, I'd go right up here, selfie style, just walk through right in front of the house and explain to them the situation that you helped facilitate. Feel free to involve other people. Help them. If it was a listing, give the buyer's agents a shot. Give the mortgage professional a shot, or the closing attorney, or the inspector, or whoever it was, or even the repair folks. Heck, if you had a great contractor that this buyer wanted to get in, and they were a first-time home buyer, and oh gosh, there's all sorts of stuff, and water, scary. But you brought in the professional to help fix the situation and get the job done. How much more does that mean than picture of the front of the house, just sold, congratulations, yay, keys? You guys we don't have to be that much different, but let's be different. The second one is interviews. And so now talking about mortgage professionals and closing attorneys, inspectors, appraisers, contractors, insurance salespeople, home warranty representatives. I mean, the sky's the limit for you. I mean, heck, even if it's a teacher at a school in a marketplace. Now, I know that that's another tricky subject because we don't really know what school's going to look like come the fall. Hopefully, things will return to normal. We just don't know when. Anything that you can do to provide some value to a community that you're trying to serve. If you want to focus on a specific community, that's where you need to focus on. It can be just as simple as interviewing the principal of the school about what's going to go on in the fall when you live in a community or you work and farm a community that has a lot of school-age children that are all wondering what's going on. And hey, Richard Cox with C-Dan Joyner, and I'm here with so-and-so who's the principal of X school. We just wanted to talk about this, that, the other. Make that work. Or interview a mortgage professional and let them know, let the public know what mortgage rates are doing right now. Talk to an appraiser and let them talk about how prices are actually increasing month over month. Get another voice, but include the other people in this profession that are involved in this profession that aren't necessarily real estate agents in that conversation. And the next thing, again, we're talking about the neighborhoods that we serve. Let's do neighborhood walks. So let's say, for example, you've got a buyer that's been looking all over the place, can't find anything, or doesn't really know what they're looking for, but they really would love to be in X of a neighborhood, and there's just nothing for sale there, so they've given up and they've gone elsewhere. What if you just walk down the road, or safely now, no videoing while driving, rode down the street and said, hey there, I'm looking for a buyer. I'm in X of a neighborhood, and I'm just looking for some really great folks that I had promised to help find a new home for them, and they had just not been able to find anything up to now because there's just really nothing for sale in this marketplace. Please let me know if you or anyone that you know that lives around here or lives around you, or it might even be you, if you have had any thoughts or interest of buying or selling this year. I would love to help this family find exactly what they're looking for. Film that video. I know we've already done 3 videos. Well, guess what? About to do a 4th one. Market insights. I've been doing these weekly market updates for everybody to see and utilize, regurgitate, and bring forward, and also implemented the tools that you need to be able to do it on your own, to do the research. I would challenge you all to just give a, hey, this is what's up in Gower, in Sugar Creek, in Augusta Road, in wherever it might be, go for it. Make those market insight videos. You don't have to do it weekly, just do one and see where that takes you, see where it gets you. I hope that it gets you someplace moving forward. If nothing else, it's the value that you can bring. Now, from a marketing perspective, do you boost these posts? Do you spend any ad dollars on digital marketing, AdWorks? Do you spend any, do you spend any money? I don't know. I don't know what works for you. I would, just from the perspective of social media allows us the ability to, for example, let's take a Facebook ad, or let's take the Google Display Network, for example. You're looking at essentially 400 or 500 to 5,000 views for the price of about 50 mailers. I'm not saying mailers are bad. I'm just saying let's interrupt the pattern that we've had. If you've done just listed, just sold mailers in the past, I'm saying let's spend a little bit more time on creating a just listed, just sold social proof advertisement that you can send, direct them to a video explaining what happened. The video can be free. The video can be an Instagram video. It can be a Facebook Live. It can be whatever it is. I still think that Facebook Live has a great presence. Instagram Live is bigger, but Facebook Live is still good. What can you do to relate that back to that original content that you've created to help service the need of the folks that you're trying to serve? Do you spend dollars on it? I don't know. Again, do what works for you, but do what works for you. All this stuff together, understanding that if you put a plan together, get the permission to perform, realize that your success is important not only to you, but to everybody around you that you're trying to serve, and to engage in the habits and tactics and activities that are going to move the needle for you in your business, but then to focus on the things that are going to work right now, which is telling the story, involving other people, being in the neighborhood, not just a voice of the neighborhood, but a voice in the neighborhood, and to also deliver that knowledge of what's going on in the marketplace right now. You are going to be in a better spot 6 months from now than you have ever been in your business. I promise you that. And if you want to write me a check of an uncomfortable sum to somebody that you would never want to have that money, drop it off at my office. And I'm not kidding. Because your success is important to me as it is to everyone else around you. Ah, fiddlesticks. There. Why? Because we owe it to ourselves to be the voice or the choice. Understand the difference there, because if you're not an option, if you're not a choice, you're nothing. To offer the opportunity of homeownership for everyone. And I mean everyone. Okay, I've done enough talking. Does anybody have any questions, or does anybody want to share anything about the content that was discussed today, have a further conversation with, or if you would like to discuss further offline, I am more than happy to do so. Not all at once. All right, guys, I really mean this when I say it. Let's go out and be the voice of reason. Let's go out and be the voice of compassion and understanding, but we get there by working on it, practicing and doing exactly what we're supposed to be doing, which is serving the people that need our help.